Hey YouTube, welcome back to our channel. Alright, we're super excited for this video because this video is episode number 1 of our new series, Healthy Gains. So this video and the series is going to be quite a bit different than the videos that we've put out so far. A lot of our most recent videos have been our treat days, and we're probably going to stray away from that with this series and bring you into our journey with our new goals that we've set for ourselves. So I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, I don't know about you either, but every time fall comes around, it just seems like it's a time for new beginnings. So I haven't really had a lot of specific fitness goals in a while, and I thought now would be the perfect time to kind of sit down and really think about what I want to accomplish in the next few months, and I think you've done the same.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna share with you what our updated fitness goals are, what our updated health goals are, and then kind of share our journey with you guys. So this is episode number 1 of Healthy Gains. That's what we've decided to call this series, but I'll kind of let you go first with what your goals are.
Yeah, and before I kind of get into what I was going to talk about, I think it is kind of important to like show you guys like what we do, because I mean we've been kind of all over the place with our videos where we give you little snippets into our life, but nothing's ever really been progressive.
Yeah, or consistent.
Right.
We want to give you a bigger picture of what we're all about. We want to show you the non-treat days and show you what we do the majority of the time.
For me, right now, I'm usually like first thing in the morning, I'm like low 190s. And so my goal before I get back into like stage competitions, because that's kind of always been my goal, at least recently, is to improve my physique in order to get competitive with men's physique, and I can get into that a little bit later on in some of our videos. But my ultimate goal is to put on size, but then also make sure that it's not just, just sheer size. It's not just about, just how big can you get, without thinking about anything else when it comes to like your body comp, your symmetry. There's a lot of things that go into it. So a lot of the times people, when they want to get bigger, they basically just go into what do they call it?
A dirty bulk.
Yeah, dirty bulk. That's what I was trying to think of this whole time. And we're basically a dirty bulk. You're just trying to get as big as you can by eating anything and everything.
As many calories, without paying attention to, how you're feeling, nutrient quality. That's super important. I mean, you need to make sure that you're getting your fiber, your micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, so you don't become deficient in something. And, when that does happen, then your body may not respond how you want it to. So that's number 1 priority too.
Right. And so with like, the problem with the dirty bulk is that you put on muscle because you're in a surplus, right? But then you're also putting on an exponential ratio of fat to that lean mass that you're trying to put on. So then you get to a point to where you get to the weight that you wanted to be, but then you realize, oh, now I have to spend all this time trying to take off the fat that I just put on. And then when you go into these deficits all the time, then you're starting to get into some issues with your body fighting back, and then also losing some of the lean mass that you just work so hard to put on. So I think it's better to get into more of what's called a clean bulk, where you're in a caloric surplus, but the nutrients that you're taking in are from wholesome sources, and you're methodical about your approaches to increasing your calories. So for me, over this winter, fall, winter, maybe even into early spring, my goal is to put on probably about 0.5 pounds per week. So something that's a little bit slower, by increasing my daily caloric intake, probably 200 calories over per day, and then kind of track and see what my body does with that. But so my goal is going to be about 4,200 calories total per day, which is higher than what I'm used to. So I'm going to start with that, kind of check the first couple weeks, see what's happening with how I feel, and then what is the scale doing, how do I look, am I putting on fat too fast, things like that. So I'm going to make adjustments, and then eventually get to a point where probably early spring I'm going to kind of check and see where I'm at, and if I'm in the right spot, then I will diet down for a competition prep for spring of 2022 is kind of my goal right now. So first and foremost, let's put on the weight in a good way. Let's track it a lot better. I know what I put into my body, but I haven't been really dialed in terms of tracking and where am I at, where do I need to be. So this is going to be kind of cool to kind of start kind of putting yourself out there a little bit more. You kind of really dial it in a lot
and
more.
Using tracking as a way to collect data too, so then you can methodically track your progress over time versus just estimating and kind of winging it.
Right.
So with that said, do you have a specific macro breakdown you're trying to hit, like a range of protein, carbs,
So
fat?
really what I've found has worked for me is right about 25% of my daily caloric intake is protein. That works well for me. And then I go for about 45% carbs, and then the rest are fats. So carbs are kind of my main source. I feel a lot better with those, especially when your training gets a lot higher, your intensity gets higher, or you're working out for a longer period of time, or you're adding in cardio, things like that. My body uses carbs a lot better. So I feel like if I take in more of a ratio of fats, or a higher ratio of fats to carbs, then I start to not perform as well. I don't feel as good. So typically that's my starting point with whatever I do. So I take my 4,200 calorie goal and then I divide that up based on those percentages. So whatever that breaks down to be, I'll kind of explain that later.
We'll put it on the screen
Yeah.
here. Yeah, and then for me, so I kind of have similar goals as him. I mean, I'm not in terms of competition or competing or anything like that. I'm not a competitor. I used to have, you know, those kinds of goals, like maybe one day, but now I just have no desire to compete, which is totally fine. But for me, I'm going to, or I have started a reverse diet. I'm 2-3 days in, so started on October 1st. Currently, I'm at my lowest weight. I haven't intentionally tried to lose weight or anything. I've been eating at my maintenance calories for quite a while now and haven't really had any specific health or fitness goals other than prioritizing, you know, health, nutrients, you know, getting in adequate calories for my activity level. But now I kind of want to put on some muscle. And in order to do that, you have to be in a surplus. So I'm starting a reverse diet. Again, I'm going to take it, you know, really slow, adding in probably 50 calories each week, depending on, you know, how my body responds. But my goal is to, you know, build muscle. So, you know, like Colin was saying too, like in order to make sure that most of the weight that you gain is from muscle and not primarily from fat, you have to take it slow. So adding in, you know, 50 calories for me per week, you know, give or take, depending what my, you know, weight does, what my body composition does each week after doing so, is kind of my main goal right now. My maintenance calories are at around 2,000. So I've upped them to 2,050. My macronutrient breakdown is around 105, 110 grams of protein. I'm not giving myself a specific number to hit. I'm going to stay within a range. So between 105, 110 grams of protein, between 275, 285 grams of carbs, and then around 50 to 55 grams of fat. So just making sure that my calories equal 2,050 at the end of every day for this first week, and then again I'll adjust as the weeks go on. My starting weight was 114.8 pounds, and so at the end of this reverse diet, you know, my goal is to gain maybe 2 to 4 pounds max, just depending on what my body composition does. Again, if I'm, you know, putting on too much fat, not enough muscle, then I'll kind of dial it down a little bit. But again, it's just all based on numbers. I'm a numbers gal. I love data. So I think this for me is going to be so much fun. Even though it may not be fun to see the scale go up all the time, it's definitely a mental battle. But at the end of the day, if I want to put on muscle, the scale is going to go up. So I'm not only going to be measuring my progress by looking at the number on the scale, but I'm going to take progress pictures, measurements, and then, you know, utilize those other sources of progress checks. the number on the scale doesn't dictate everything. Another good thing to come out of this series for us is just that accountability. So, you know, we're posting this out on YouTube, and we're gonna, you know, give it to you, you know, like it is. We're gonna be transparent with everything, how we're feeling. And it's super cool for me because, you know, I am a health coach and I work with, you know, my clients on this exact same thing. So I'm going to be utilizing what I do with my clients with my own goals. I'm going to have weekly check-ins. I'm going to hold my own self accountable. I'm going to use the data that I have to, you know, make adjustments as the weeks go on. And for me, I think I'll, you know, continue this reverse diet for 8 to 12 weeks. And then once I reach the peak point of kind of where I want to be, then, you know, I'll probably maintain for a while and then enter into some kind of a cut. It all just depends on how this goes, but that is kind of where I'm at right now with my fitness goals. I definitely can put on a little more size. I want to build some more upper body muscle, and then, you know, build my quads, build my hamstrings, build my glutes. What girl doesn't want to do that? So a little bit of everything. Another thing I want to say too is with this reverse diet, like I have goals of getting stronger in the gym, pushing my lifts, increasing my weight. So I have performance goals as well. It's not just, you know, body composition goals. There are so many benefits to a reverse diet. Upregulating my metabolism, you know, being able to, you know, eat 2,100 plus calories a day, you know, eating the foods I love and eating the foods that are good for me, which most of them are the foods that I love anyway. But just having so much more energy, so much more flexibility in food choices, you know, is everything. I mean, especially when you know, want to maintain a social life. Food is a part of, you know, so many of our social and emotional experiences, and being able to have that flexibility without stressing over, oh my gosh, like if I eat this, I am never going to reach my goals. Like that doesn't always have to be the case. So many benefits to a reverse diet and increasing your caloric intake. I think this YouTube series will be pretty fun. Hopefully you guys will enjoy following our journey too. And kind of get to know a little bit more about how we track and how we approach every single day.
And I definitely think that not only is it going to help you guys kind of get some insight, but I think it's really going to help us.
Right. Oh,
you know,
for sure.
like it's going to be pretty cool being able to kind of document for the first time and actually be like honest, because I don't know what it is, but we get it into our heads that whether it's the number on the scale or the size of your arms or whatever dictates everything. And so you kind of start to cushion numbers, like when you're talking to people, like, oh no, I'm this, and you're never actually honest with yourself, and then you don't make progress because you don't have an honest base point with anything that you do. So I think getting into something like this where there is no hiding behind anything, there are the numbers, here's what it is, here's how we're going to get to where our goal is, and then actually do it, I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, and I think it's good to have specific goals too, because I know so many times, like even with my clients, you know, even with myself, you know, you kind of go back and forth between, oh, do I want to cut right now? Do I want to reverse diet? Do I want to maintain? And then, you know, you continue to go back and forth, and then yes, like you said, you never make true progress towards anything because you don't have a specific goal. So, I mean, you can't, you know, have fat loss as your specific goal while also wanting to build muscle as your specific goal. Like, yes, if you're, you know, a newbie to lifting and to this whole kind of lifestyle, it is possible to change your body composition where you do lose a little bit of fat and put on some muscle. But for, you know, the more advanced lifter or advanced trainee, you know, that's really not possible. You know, you kind of have to pick one or the other. And something to keep in mind, in order to reach your ultimate body composition goals, you have to have that muscle definition or that muscle tone or whatever to begin with. Because, you know, if you try to cut down and lose, you know, body fat when you don't already have that muscle underneath, you're likely not going to, you know, achieve that body that you think that you can get, you know, without having that muscle on you. So it is important to go through these phases of, you know, dieting, you know, the reverse diet, the lean bulk, the cutting phase. You know, you're not meant to be in a caloric deficit 24/7, 365. And so it is important to incorporate those phases of dieting into your health cycle of your life.
Yeah, and the last thing that I'll say is that this day and age, this is kind of building off of what I've already said, but like all you see is Instagram, where you see the best of everybody, and it's only this side of them that they don't want you to see the other side, like how they got there or the problems that they have. They just want to get the best angle for their pictures. They want to look really good all the time, and that's it. That's all you ever see. So I think us kind of stepping out of our comfort zone and actually showing you whether things are going well or things are not going well, kind of that whole journey, I think is
and how we adjust from there. You know, what
exactly.
we do we
the
go
same.
cry
Everybody's
in the bedroom
human.
and then quit and give up? And no,
yeah,
go back to our comfort zone. No, that's not how you grow. That's not how you progress.
Right.
And you're gonna have those ups and downs on your journey. Even as coaches, we have our ups and downs too. We're all human. And that's a good point, because I think that's definitely what we want to show too. We want to be as honest and transparent as possible throughout this journey, and really show people that it's not going to be all rainbows and butterflies and
right.
sunshines all the time. There's going to be tough times. You're going to have that mental battle or mental breakdown or whatever every once in a while. Maybe you won't, maybe you don't. That's awesome. But for the
hopefully
majority,
no breakdowns.
Yeah, no breakdowns. That's not what I meant. But you're going to have like those times where you question whether what you're doing is right.
Is it worth it?
Right. Is it worth it at the end of it? And we're here to tell you that yes, it is 100% worth it. And you just have to kind of choose your heart. I think that kind of sums up both of our goals for now. Mm-hmm. And we're probably going to be posting on a weekly basis, and then maybe eventually, once we kind of become more consistent on YouTube, we'll increase that to 2 times per week. But comment down below, let us know what you want to see. We'll be including meal prep videos, full days of eating, workouts, training mindset,
right.
Daily habits that will set us up for success, and
just lifestyle.
Where
are we at?
Lifestyle.
What's
right.
going on?
Exactly. And just how we fit this into our lifestyle and not the other way around. So.
Right.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. We hope you guys are excited to follow us along on our journey, and we will catch you next week in our next video, Healthy Gains episode 2. Bye guys.